Well, welcome back to the show. I'm Rochelle, and thank you for joining me, boy. I don't know, but a lot of people, I don't know about everybody, but there's a lot of people pissed off at Donald Trump. Just upset with his interview with Laura Ingraham. When he was pressed about the H-1B visas. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So let's take a look at what he says, okay? Let's see what all the hubbub is, bub.
Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent.
When we have plenty of talented people
no,
here.
You don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
I'll
give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing. It's very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way. Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that
Well, I started going down and reading the comments, and this person says India has had scandal after scandal of their universities getting caught selling college degrees that Indians use to defraud our visa system. We need a moratorium right now. Also, they get into C-suit jobs, fire Americans, and outsource to India exclusively. Well, you can thank a lot of the Democrats in the past, like bills that Bill Clinton had passed. This is nothing new that a lot of our manufacturing has left the country over the past 20 years. Have left the country because of government regulations. That's a no-brainer. I don't even have to go Google that. I had been seeing it with my own eyes. I mean, look at Detroit. Look at Detroit. It's devastated. It's devastated. It used to be the hub capital of making cars, and it employed a lot of people. But what Trump is saying is, we don't have smart people. When Ingram's like, well, don't we have people? He's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I'm probably going to get hate, but I agree with them. Look at the education system. Look how we've been dumbed down. Look how we have been dumbed down. Now, I pulled up a Grok. Do I have that? Let me find that for you. So I asked Grok some questions, and basically what I got out of this, let me go up to the top so you guys can. It says we're mid-tier in global education rankings. With stronger results in higher education, but average or below average outcomes in K through 12 student achievement compared to other developed nations. And you guys can go and look this stuff up. So yeah, there are some smart people who have gone on to college. We all know what's been happening in the school system, especially during COVID, and we realize the school's not teaching our kids crap. I mean, some even college kids don't even know who we gained our independence from. And Trump was saying, hey, you can't just have anybody go in and just pull them off the unemployment line and go build a missile. And I agree with him on that. Now, here's some stuff here. Let's see if I can get this in for you. They did testing on the 15-year-olds on reading. We should be number one in everything. Among all 81 participants, including non-OECD like Singapore, there's their results. Top performers are East Asia, Singapore, number one overall, 560, 575 across subjects, followed by Japan, Korea, Taiwan. Look at our scores. Scores declined post-COVID. Math 13 points from 2018, but less than OECD. Average dropped negative 50, boosting relative rankings. Other K through 12 benchmarks. And there you go. There's some stats there for you. So basically, this is telling me higher education, we're doing good. We have what is this is saying here? You got 197 institutions, and the top performers are MIT, and for 13 years, and then you had Harvard is number 4. So I don't know. I am not the sharpest tool in the shed, but to me, this has been a problem, and I think it's been by design by the Democrats. Hell, they run the Department of Education. You know what? I think everybody needs to just take a big, deep breath and don't throw Trump under the bus yet, because he knows all of this. Hell, the liberals want boys and girls bathrooms. I saw a report today, or heard it on the radio this morning. Let me get back to Trump. They were talking about the teachers union, and the lady who's over it was at some protest, at some kind of rally. She sounded like a damn politician. I don't even remember what her name was. It's hard for me to take notes when I'm driving, but maybe I need to get a tape recorder. But she's basically going on and on and on about how, they want this diversity. They're all about the DEI. They want the transgender people in the schools, boys in bathrooms. They're gonna buck Trump. And most of their money, I guess they pay their dues in the teachers union. All their money goes to liberal projects. Go look this stuff up. So this woman, who's over teachers union, cares more about this social shit than actually teaching the kids. And then you get comments like this from Trump. I'm just saying what I've been seeing for years. The education system has been dumbed down, and he's probably right. That we don't have enough smart people to do the job. We might have some. Sure. There's always some smart people. You always have the one kid in the class who's just smart as, like, we all had them, right? Like, oh my God, this kid's going to go places. But we see the footage of the schools across America. All of them have their cell phones in the class. They're not listening to the teacher. In fact, they're talking ugly to the teacher or attacking the teacher. Teacher can't even take their phone away. And they've been just pushing these kids along. A lot of this is in the inner schools, but a lot of this is in the regular schools too. The discipline is down. We have broken homes. Single parents. There's problems. There's all kinds of problems. It stems straight from education. Hell, just look at TikTok. TikTok didn't create these dumb people. These people were already dumb because of Americans' education system. So I'm not going to be quick to condemn Trump for saying this, because as soon as he said it, I was like, damn, that makes sense to me. And he had said, a month ago or so, I didn't go dig it up, but y'all probably remember it. He was talking about we need more We need more schools for trade. We need more trade schools because schools used to do that, where you could have an opportunity to go learn how to weld, learn electrical, learn this other stuff. Maybe you want to be an architect. You need drafting. There's no drafting class in my son's school because he is such a good artist and he's decent at math. I said, well, you could go study to be an architect. Do you have a class? He said, no. I remember when I was back in high school, I took a drafting class. I made a C. It was hard. I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed as far as math, but I got points off because you had to make your circles and perfect, and everything just has to be, it just has to be perfect. And I had this one kid that sat beside me, and he was just amazing. And lo and behold, we're grown. I get a message from him commenting on one of the videos we did from, he commented on we had a page for our band, and we had played at the River Bend here locally, and the news filmed us. And he just happened to be in town and watched it with his mother, and he messaged us on our page, right? Our Wildflower, we would call it Wildflower, our Wildflower page, and he had become an architect. He said, "You remember me? You said I'd look like Tom Hanks." And I said, "Oh my God." Yeah, I texted him back. I said, "Yeah, I remember you," because he looked like Tom Hanks. I don't know if it was 9th or 10th grade, but we were taking an architect class, and I would ask him, like I would need to ask him a question, and he would answer me, and then all of a sudden I'd need to answer him again, and he'd give me some look, and I wouldn't bother him anymore because, like, oh my God, I was embarrassed. But I didn't want to bother him because he was so smart then. And now he's like a big-time guy building buildings, and he's a big-time architect. But they don't have that stuff now. Unless y'all can tell me in some of these other states, do some of these high schools have these programs where they can get early access to these types of jobs, skills, that the students could get a taste of, and then further their education in college and furthering that. Not this BS degree in fine arts or DEI hire crap. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's been a slew of young people who have graduated with these dumbass degrees because they've been hoodwinked. And what's going on in our colleges? What's going on in our colleges? I think it's all been done by design. That's been dumbing down the education. And again, I'm not going to be so quick to scold Trump for saying that, and everybody's pissed. Like, oh, he's supposed to say America first. He is having America first. He did say, well, if these people come in, they can train other people. But we have to start programs like now, like yesterday, in high school. Even middle school, of any kind of STEM career any of these kids might be interested in. It's almost like you can't have the same curriculum, I guess, for everybody, but we do have this general standard. And there's kids that are just super smart, and we need to focus on those super smart kids and put them in the super smart classes. If we can, I think we need to invest in that. That thing I put up for y'all from Grok, I had skimmed through it, but they were talking about in this on how much more money we invest in each student than other countries, and we just get poor results from it. I mean, we get very poor results from the money that we have been spending on education. We are not getting bang for our buck. That's something to think about too. We're spending all this money, and then the Department of Education is like, we need more money, and these schools need more money. Shit, the schools are like becoming a war zone. You're going to have metal detectors outside the door. I think they need to ban cell phones, period, from campus. Not just because these 11th and 12th graders can drive a car. Nope, no phone on campus. Hey, we all survived without a damn phone. But I think it's been a distraction. And we need to get back to educating kids, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and not this nonsense. Oh, well, how does math make you feel? How do you feel today? We need to talk about diversity. We need to talk about how bad the founding fathers were. They were just a bunch of white slave owners. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I know we can look at some of these comments. Let me look here. Where are we going? Well, I got my guy, the Andrew Branca show. He's pissed at Trump. And he's smart. This guy, he's way smarter than I could ever be. But he says Trump on H-1B's seizing defeat from jaws of victory. Well, I can put his link in the description and you can hear him just go off on Trump about it, where Trump is supposed to be America first. I think Trump is being America first. I think everybody's just jumping the gun too much. Everybody just needs to take a deep breath. I did not react like this when I watched that interview. I thought, wow, yeah. I have 2 kids. I got one that's 38, and while he was in school, started school in California, and then we came to Tennessee, and there was a different kind of curriculum. It was a little harder here in Tennessee. He actually had a couple of books in that 2nd grade he was in, and then after that, it was no more books. It was all freaking ditto sheets. I'm like, where's your books? Well, we don't have any books at school anymore. No books to take home. Remember your social studies book? You'd read the chapter, have to answer the questions at the end, all this kind of stuff. No math book, nothing. It's just all ditto sheets. I was like, damn. Younger one, same thing. No books. No books. Now they got computers. They had laptops last year. This time he has he had an iPad last 2 years. And then this year they gave the high school kids an actual laptop. And the middle school, the middle school age kids get an iPad. But this is the first year they stopped giving an iPad to the elementary kids because there were problems. You think they have access to the whole internet? I had called the school and said something about it like 2 years ago. I was like, why does he have full access to YouTube? I said, my son's telling me that some of his schoolwork is he has to look at some YouTube video. Why don't y'all have some kind of app that's built into the computer that y'all just upload the video without commercials, and then they click on it on your internal website that they get their curriculum from. Lo and behold, last year they had stopped getting access to YouTube, but then he told me other kids could work around that because kids are kind of smart and they figure stuff out where they can have access to all this other stuff. But I think it's been a big problem. We just gave them computers, sent them home with this dangerous thing that they have full access to the internet. It was, I couldn't, I was like, what? So I would have to sit there, and when he got home, he'd do his homework, and then he had to put his iPad in my room to charge. Like, I'm going to let him keep this thing in his room all night long? That he could get on it, have access to YouTube, type in anything into Google search. It was insane. And I don't know if other parents were doing the same thing I am. It was a pain in the ass, and I'm going to tell you what right now, but I did it. Now, I said I have to protect you as much as I can, but I know when you leave that door, that's up to you. Right? I mean, I can't hold his hand 24 hours a day. And some people say, well, you're being pretty strict. Well, no, I'm just being realistic. I'm just being realistic. That you just can't let them have access to all of this stuff. This is crazy. And this is a problem. Again, I am not going to just dump on Trump until we hear more. And usually Trump's right. He's usually coming out. He's usually right. Now, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I just know we're mid-tier. Especially we're even below average from K through 12. But we're a little bit higher because of MIT. But hey, what are those stats? Are those from, I know some people are saying, hey, all these people want to come into our country for the education system. What's up with that? We're America first. Aren't our education system okay? No, they're coming in for college because they're smart. They're going to the MIT. They're going to Harvard. They're not here from K through 6, which that's where we've destroyed our young minds full of mush, is from the K through 6 because of the Democrats. Because of them, they've had control of the Department of Education. And if you got kids out there too, you should already, you know this. That you have to go over the Revolutionary War or World War II with your own kid because they're not doing it at school. No, they're talking about Trump's a Nazi. It's ridiculous. So you got these high school kids, not high school kids, even some of these college kids that you see on these campuses, they believe all of this. And you're thinking, well, you must not know shit about World War II or the history. To compare Donald Trump to Hitler is absurd. It's completely absurd. I think Hitler, Nazi regime would be more in line with the left Democrat Party. That's just my opinion. Let's look at some of these comments. And of course, there's mine I did an hour ago. Can y'all see that? Or I need to move my stuff over. This thing's going to get on my nerves. Okay. Come on. Work with me now. This thing is on my last nerve. If I want to make the one side smaller, all of a sudden it won't give me the comments. It just gives me a list of the next videos that are coming up. I know, it's just stupid. I commented an hour ago. I said, I agree with Trump. We have too many dumb people in America because the Department of Education has dumbed us down so bad. And you guys, you know this. Get rid of the Department of Education. And I got one like on that, but that's my opinion. I think we do have a bunch of dumb people. And it's not their fault. I'm not downing people. And also in that Grok one too, it talked about the disparity of economics. You know, there's poor people and stuff like that. But hey, there's a lot of poor people who've come out and become lawyers and doctors and things like this. I mean, look at J.D. Vance. His mother was a drug addict. They were poor. And look, he has rose up to be the vice president of the United States. I mean, so we can't just blame everything on just being poor. It's just we all have choices to make. But I think the indoctrination from the left over the past few decades, it started out slow and then it went on steroids during Biden and Harris administration. And we learned a lot when COVID hit too as well. And y'all know this. Like, my God, these kids aren't learning nothing. They're not learning nothing. This next guy writes, I'm a Trump guy, but he needs to realize we are not just going to accept crap like this. He needs to be all the way in on America first. Of course he does. Of course he does. But you have to look at the other aspect of it too. That we have raised a bunch of our schools just push them along. Schools have just pushed these people along. Right? Just, okay, well, we'll just move them on to the next grade. Because they don't want to deal with it. They just move them on. They just keep moving them on. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. This person says most countries have citizens first policies where foreigners cannot be hired until the employer has exhausted search for citizens to do this first. Sure, I agree with that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see. And I agree 100% that all the problems this country has right now has been dramatically, let's see what they're saying, dramatically what? dramatically magnified because of the immigration that has been out of control. Immigration is a simulation, not a simulation. It's an invasion. But the biggest issue with immigration and the DEI is prioritizing people who hate the U.S. and its history. I agree immigration has played a part in some of these schools, especially over the Biden and Harris administration, where you've seen schools that were just filled up with Spanish-speaking children. How did that affect the American kids that are in the class? And I don't even know, I can't even begin to wonder how the hell that worked. What the hell is this teacher supposed to do if the teacher can't even speak Spanish? How the hell is she teaching them? Why are they even in there? Wouldn't there be just like a special, I don't know, a gymnasium or something that, hey, all the Spanish kids have to go here and assign some teacher? I mean, these dumbass states that let all these people in, they should have figured this shit out. But no, they didn't give a shit. They just let them all piled up in these schools. And it affected our students, right? It affected the American students. Could you imagine being a kid in a classroom and it's full of a bunch of Spanish-speaking kids? How the hell are you going to learn anything? And how the hell did they learn anything? I don't even know how that worked. I don't even understand it. But I think the immigration policies of Biden administration had a big part of this. But this has been happening for like 30 years, y'all. I have seen this decline. I have a son that's 38 years old. I've seen this firsthand. There had been a decline in the education system since he started school. I was like, my God, I was watching it happen. I had to teach him stuff at home. And I did. I took the time to do it. And then you got the DEI hires. How many DEI hires do we have as teachers? I didn't ask Grok this. I'm just throwing this out there. Because this guy says DEI prioritizing people who hate the U.S. Yeah, you have DEI hires who have no business in these certain jobs. And look, and some of these DEI hires, I'm telling you, they're in Congress, they're in the House, they're mayors. They're all infected. They're running businesses. They have no business doing this. Rush Limbaugh used to talk about it. Who was the mayor in Atlanta, or was it in New York, that was caught doing crack and with prostitutes in the hotel? I know if anybody's young watching this, you're not going to even know what I'm talking about. But what was his name? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. But it just occurred to me. I remember Rush Limbaugh talking about DEI hires, and that how the Democrats have put people over cities that had no business running a city. That's basically his point, was they were doing this 25 years ago. This is nothing new. So now what is the DEI hire? Letting the illegals run the asylum? What does this guy say? Let me make sure you guys are seeing this. Saying they all turn out to be fakers. Anything for the quick hustle, always for the quick dollar, and the communists. I don't even know. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, my it won't let me make this thing on this side any smaller. It's kind of driving me crazy. Okay, here we go. What's the next one? This is like that scene in Braveheart when he unmasked that soldier, and it's one of the Scotland leaders he was close with. You betrayed me! Now, what was his name? That was, he says to his dad, I betrayed him. I saw it in his face. And his dad was all like sick with, I don't know what the heck he had, leprosy or something. But yeah, he felt betrayed. But no, dude, bro, that's kind of exaggerating in it. Not only H-1B international students are finding ways to stay too. Trump disappoints greatly. I don't know. I have tried getting a job for 3 years as I don't know what SWE is. Now I'm homeless. I'm never getting back on my feet. India has filled my industry, and no one will hire me. What's the point anymore? My prosperity has been sold out. I've had a broken hand, and now no one will help me. All the disability doctors in my city speak almost no English. I was hoping for a chance, but I just got Obama. He's probably going to say Obamacare. Obama again. My dad was a co-author of the Java programming lang. Chopped liver. I don't know. I don't know what that guy. I don't know if it's true. What a kick in the nuts. I'm out. He just called his most aberrant supporters a bunch of talent in the city. No, he didn't. I mean, I can go on and on and on. I don't understand some of the new decisions. They're saying the problem with Americans that would have learned how to do the things needed to be productive citizens have been taught to be activists instead. Oh, yeah. There's a guy. Look at this. The problem with the Americas that would have learned how to do the things needed to be productive citizens have been taught to be activists instead. I agree with that. That's been some of my point. It is not only just to be activists, but also to hate America, go for stupid careers in college. They don't even teach kids how. It's not the point. It's not teaching patriotism. You learn about the founding. Apparently, Ken Burns. What did I have here? Ken Burns. Look at this. Oh, I hate pop-ups. Ken Burns is on the way of the American Revolution and the most important event in history after the birth of Christ. So Ken Burns is when I watched his documentary on World War II, and it was, the Civil War, and it was really good. It was really, really good. But Ken Burns is a leftist, right? So I don't know. It was saying he's gonna. Got some pictures here from. He's doing a documentary on the Revolutionary War. Now, I read this article, and it was saying that there was just a smidgen of woke in it. I was like, what the hell? I didn't know Ken Burns was a leftist until I read this article. Actually, I will pin this article in the description, and you guys can go read it. It was an interesting read. It's talking about him doing this new documentary on the Revolutionary War. And I think he's going to focus on Washington. But we'll see how that turns out. We'll see how that turns out, because I think the kids have been brainwashed for a few decades to hate the Pilgrims, shit on Christopher Columbus, just shit on him, just shit on everything about, we just killed all the Indians, we just took their land, we should feel regret. There was a video I saw that maybe I'll do something on it later, because this one's running a little long. But there was a woman saying, and it was a white woman too, and she was saying, why aren't white people remorseful yet? Remorseful for being white and doing whatever. I didn't watch it. I just saw the front. I was like, what is this? And then I shared it so I could get back to it, because I wanted to look at it and think I might do a video on it. Yeah, I need some farm and some content. But I was like, what? Some stupid white liberal woman. The caption was, aren't white people, why aren't they ready to, apologize that you're white? Apologize that America got her own independence, and that we have to be remorseful or regret what happened with the Indians? What the hell is this? This is what countries did. This all goes back to education, people. When you got these stupid people saying this, now either she's being disingenuous and that she knows this, what she's saying is not to be true, or she's really just a mind full of mush and believing that white people just need to be ashamed and say they're sorry for being white, and that we we took over America from Britain and then we pushed the Indians away. Why are you mad at us? If we want to get serious about this, so we get our independence from Britain, but guess what? Britain was running the country for how long? How long was this happening? Before we got our independence? So we were pushing the Indians out as being under British law. And as we slowly expanded across America, obviously, we conquered. And that's how it was done. That's how countries had done it for centuries, forever. This is just what happened. Look, you got Russia trying to do it now with Ukraine. They want that land. They want those minerals. They want that stuff to empower themselves. Isn't that what people did on a global scale? Rome did it. Good God, the Muslims through the Crusades went because they wanted to spread their religion. Good God, this is all just history. Not that I'm expert, but some of it's just kind of basic shit, y'all. Just some basic stuff. And a lot of what I just said is basic stuff I learned. But I do watch a lot of documentaries because I don't have a life. But there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with Trump or do you disagree with Trump? Do you think he shouldn't have said, no, we don't have it? I just told y'all. I think he's right. We don't have the brain power. I'm gonna say brain power. Now that one comment we read where the guy says, yeah, we need to have a law where that employer exhausts all its to find the American to fill this position, and then if they don't, then you have to go to the outside. Hey, I'm all for that, but let's have good luck finding it, right? And you can tell me what you think. Is Trump just full of shit and he's not America first anymore? And this is some conspiracy theory. Other people are saying like, oh yeah, he's just like the rest of them. He's this, he's that. Or is he just speaking the truth? Because I'll tell you what, sometimes the truth hurts. And sometimes people don't want to face the truth. And if we don't have enough smart people, we have to look elsewhere to get these smart people to help us build these things. They're doing these AI, big industry. They're going to have their own power and all of this kind of stuff. Oh, tonight, if anybody's watching this video, I guess the South and Midwest, I guess, most of the South, some of up, because there's going to be some cloud cover in New York and over California area. You'll be able to see the Northern Lights or whatever they're calling it because of the solar flares. So check that out tonight when it gets dark. And it says it's best you could see them if you're in a more of a rural area. There's not a bunch of street lights, I guess. You could check that out, that might be happening tonight and we're having another big solar flare is going to be hitting us here in the next few hours. So, I mean, I'm getting ready to post this video. So I don't know what the time frame would be if anybody's watching this, but go check it out. And just even go look at some videos on the solar flares and how it's affecting the Earth as far as earthquakes, where the solar flare is hitting, and where you could see these lights in the sky, the northern lights. And there you have it. And thank you. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Whether you disagree with me or you agree with me, I'd like to hear your opinion on why do you think Trump's wrong. Why would you tell me why you think Trump would be right? And there you go. Have a great day.